Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy BurstCG back here, and today is the last day of the Marvel's Avengers beta. And with that, I've kind of come up with some thoughts on what I think they can add and fix, for the game itself. They definitely won't be able to make like severe changes for the betas, at least. Hopefully, I know they're working on the matchmaking, so that I'm not gonna really gonna make a complaint about. But I kind of want to start with things I think they should add. So first, this is pretty straightforward, and you can even look in the gameplay. Um, I think they should add a map. I think this little thing where you can see, identify where these different points of interest are is it's all right. But I think having a map for potentially bigger places will be a lot easier just to identify, because we don't really know how big the maps will be. These are these simple missions kind of that they're giving us to kind of mess with, and we don't really know how much bigger the world will be once we are able to actually get the full game. So you never know. It might be a little bit more useful to have a map, and you know, I'm not sure how many more stuff you'll be able to find once you get more into the actual game. Because right now you only see certain chests and these little crates and stuff. I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot more for them to add, like if there's more things that we have to scout out, because it is a lot of grinding and finding and looting and stuff like that. So there potentially may be more that we have to look into, but I definitely think that a map, they should consider it. Next, I think that when you're playing in a game with an online match, at least, because I haven't experienced an issue offline, but online there's no clear indication where your teammates are at when they die, especially if they kind of go off trail. And I noticed that when I was playing with a random squad for the first time, and the dude went off by himself. Now, I don't know. You're not really. I think this is supposed to be really team based. Like, it's not really a good idea to go off by yourself, especially when you guys are doing like uh, the hardest difficulty, especially that. But yeah, so he went off by himself. He died, and I didn't know where he was, and nobody else on the team knew where he was. So we couldn't find him, and there was no way for him to ping us or let off a location alert of where he was or anything like that. And I think them not having anything for people who die is kind of, it's good and bad. It's a little bit simpler, so you won't have to worry about doing a lot when it comes to people who are dead on your team and you got to revive them. At the same time, though, the people who do die, they should have a way to signal that they're you know dead somewhere and they need to be revived. You know, just that clear indication, but definitely have something to let us know where they are specifically, especially if they go off by themselves. But yeah, I mean, obviously to avoid that problem, it would be to stick together, but you definitely won't always have people who want to stick together when you're playing an online with randoms, because there's a lot of looting, like I said. Let's see. Next is something that has to do with the lobbies. Now, when you do want to load up in a game, sometimes, like let's say if you want to invite your friends specifically, now the match, there's no way to kick players. You would have to start that lobby all over and disable matchmaking, like do that all the time. I think there should just be a way to make a lobby for yourself all the time. You can make an open lobby, and then those same people that come in there stay in there no matter what. Or you can make a private lobby that way, so there's no chance of anybody joining. But I think the enabling matchmaking and disabling matchmaking thing is kind of weird, but for now, I mean, it works. It's just there's other things that kind of coincide with it. Like my next thing is the pre-selecting your hero. I'm not sure how that will work in the full game, because I've seen that there are clips where you're walking around as different Avengers, different heroes and stuff like that. So you might already have a way to do that, just not in the beta. But there definitely is some problems when trying to pick heroes, because when you load in and if the matchmaking is enabled, sometimes it might cut you off and say you can't select this hero. But yeah, so those are kind of things I think should be added. Not too many, not a lot, but I definitely have some things that I think for bugs they should fix. I don't know how they are in the full game right now, because this, for all we know, I think this could be like I don't know, a lot simpler version than what the full game may be. We don't know for sure. But yeah, so one thing is the camera angles, and that for me, I experienced that a lot when facing a lot of enemies at one time, like a wave of enemies, and not in the harm missions, but this mostly comes from like playing, let's say for example, the to tame a Titan mission in the villain sector, I believe. and there's just a wave of enemies there, and it's a lot going on. Sometimes the camera angle is kind of jumpy, trying to figure out who you're targeting and whatnot. It can get kind of a little bit overboard, um, and that kind of goes in with frame rate. The frames dropping a lot because of there being just so much going on the screen, and it not being able to handle it. I definitely think that's something that they'll fix pretty soon. I don't think it'll take them a long time, because that is something very prominent that everybody has been talking about. So yeah, let's see. There are some things with the models, in my opinion, I think that they could probably fix. There's like, it's very small. I'm not gonna make it a big deal, but like some clipping issues with certain pieces on the characters and stuff like that. Yeah, just small three for the jeez, just small changes for those models. But like I said, I don't know what the full game looks like yet, so it could be a lot. It could already have been polished, but I would just say they need to polish it more if it isn't. Let's see. Next is the iconic missions, and I'm not sure if anybody else has experienced this, but in my time playing the iconic missions, when you have to load in as Hulk, you automatically will get kicked out. You can't join the session, because once somebody else joins that, they automatically are loading in as Hulk too. So it's like, it's kind of, you're not supposed to be able to do that. So I wonder how they're going to really fix that, because people who load in automatically have to play as Hulk, which is kind of weird. I don't think that they should limit it to that, because that kind of makes it, is always going to be an error, since there's never allowed to be two of the same hero, right? So they have to find a way to make it so somebody can request the character first, or I don't know how that would work, because it'd be like almost like I said, first come first serve at that point, and they'd have to have some way to have a lobby to where you automatically show up there without the other person automatically showing up there as well. So that's my complaint for iconic missions. Hopefully that's not something that continues to happen in more of them when they release the game. Let's see here. The next one is there are some little map errors, glitches. Jumping into a wall will accidentally make you fall underneath the whole map, and you'll be locked out. So there's always that issue. That's something that happens in a lot of games, though. I don't know if they've, if that's something that they'll be able to really fix like that, if they'll worry about it, because it is something that naturally happens just from random glitch here or there. Next, traversals. The traversals kind of look a little. They feel fine. For Black Widow and Kamala Khan, I'm aiming this more specifically at them. I think it's kind of snappy. It's not like a smooth, like flowing type of thing. I know that there is a way. I think you can make the traversal. I think you can. I can't remember. I think it's in one of her skills for Black Widow. You can make the traversal swing better. Like you actually launch off of it, if I'm not mistaken. But still, I think that the actual traversal itself, I think it looks like it's not flowing well. Like you think of Spider-Man like on a pendulum, it doesn't feel like that. It feels a lot different. So it doesn't feel like it's fully done, if that makes sense. But I think that it's fine for now. I could work with it, and I think a lot of people could agree that they could work with it too for now. And because the big question is, how will Spider-Man work when he can't really swing in an environment like this? I mean, unless they make everything in here accessible to him, like the trees, and in some cases the buildings, and will they follow that same like pendulum thing, or will it just be, oh, he swings in the air, We'll see. And I already talked about frame drops, so I'm not going to talk about that again. So next, I do have some questions for the game. Like, I know some people may not see this as a problem, but when I look at it, when you finish a mission and just do the objective, all the enemies disappear. I think that in some cases that's a good thing. You just want to finish the mission, but I mean also at the same time it's like, why, So there are some missions where they don't disappear and you have to finish all of them off, but it's kind of inconsistent. Some of them, they just all randomly disappear when you complete the mission versus some others. So it's kind of one of those things where, is it just inconsistency, or is there a specific reason why? Like there were a couple of missions I think where you had to go find shield bunkers, and they would just disappear if you were able to hack into them or whatever. So there's that, and there's the missions where you actually had to beat everybody instead of just beating all of the main enemies and stuff like that. So I would hope that they would make it, you know, just consistent to where they leave them all there, so you could actually finish the mission and beat everybody, because it also helps with experience, I believe. But that's not up to me. I think it's kind of a broad question depending on how people feel. And let's see. And I didn't really see a lot of details like on the harder difficulties, and that just maybe because it's the beta. But I know that there's like modifiers and stuff like that, but I didn't really see a lot of details in them. I know that there's not a lot of gear and stuff and different stuff that we get to experience like that right now. But I think more details on the different missions will be a lot better. Yeah, because especially like different rewards, I think they should be a little bit more clarifying with that. But I guess we'll see. And let's see. The last thing I would say is the war table missions. In like all of them in general. Most of them, if you fully try to explore the map and not just go for the main objectives, and you're playing by yourself, at least for me, it seems to take between 20 to 35 minutes. And for a mission, that's pretty long. And I guess it just depends on who you are and how you feel about it, but it's definitely pretty long for a mission. I don't know how I personally feel about it, like as in if it's worth it to keep it like that, but I think it really just depends on when you're playing online too, like how fast you as a team can progress through the mission too. Because for example, most of these I played on normal difficulty, and then I kind of gradually went up as my level got up to level 15 for each character, because it definitely helps a lot more when your whole team is level 15 and you play by yourself, instead of, you know, this being all like mix and match between level 5, 10, 15, whatever. But yeah, it definitely can take a while. I'm not sure how a lot of people will feel about that. Personally, I don't mind it. It's okay, because I'm a grinder. I don't mind going out to look for all of the different gear and, you know, potential artifacts and all that stuff that you can use to upgrade your characters and make them stronger. I don't mind doing that. However, other people may not feel the same, because it is a long mission, 20 to 30 minutes long. If you take your time and not like rush, and on top of that, like I said, we don't know how big the other maps will be and whatnot once we actually get the full game. So who knows? But with that, that's kind of all of my thoughts and my feedback for the game so far. And like I said, we don't know what the full game is like right now. We don't know how it will be. For all we know, this is an early version. This could have been the version that we would have gotten in May, or this could have been a version we could have gotten in July. I don't know, but that goes without saying. The actual full game could be a lot better already. We just don't know. And I'm hoping, you know, my feedback will reach somebody that will be able to hear it out. And, you know, I'm not trying to bash the game or anything. I definitely think this game is going to be successful, regardless of what happens. This game is going to be around for a while. So yeah, with that, I'm going to end the video. If you guys have any thoughts or anything you guys think I didn't cover, or you guys have your own things you experienced, definitely leave them down below and I'll respond to you. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video.